This video I'm making is to go over questions for RP1. So if this is a standard that you're struggling with, this video kind of talks about that. We did a lot of interactive lessons, so this is kind of my shortened version of RP1. So for RP1, we're looking at questions 1, 2, and 3. So I will talk about those 3 questions here to go over RP1. The ratio of cars and buses in the parking lot is 14 to 5. So with ratios, I always label cars to buses, 14 to 5. So 14 goes with cars, 5 goes with buses. I like to set my ratios up as fractions. But if there are 70 cars and how many buses? So we didn't know how many buses there were, but we knew how many cars. So again, you label cars on the top, buses on the bottom. So some people can see that you can multiply this times 5 to get to each side to find out that there would be 25 buses. If you don't, you do cross products. You multiply the 2 across you have, which would be 5 times 70, and then divide by the only number left, 14, and that's how you would get 25 buses. So you could explain and defend your strategy by using cross products, 25 buses. You could also talk about how the ratio over here is 5 times bigger than the ratio over here. But we like to set them up fraction equal to fraction. This question for RP1 says, which ratio shows the correct ratio of 25 puppies to 15 kittens? So the ratio language matters. 25 to 15, that's the order they ask for it in, so you have to do 25 to 15. You can't have it flipped around, 15 to 25. So that one's a pretty simple one, not much math work to go with it. The last one for RP1, which ratio is equivalent to 8 to 12? And I'm going to show you the reason why it is and the reasons why it's not over here. So 8 to 12, I like to write my ratios as fractions. So I write it 8 over 12, and it is equivalent to 2 to 3, so I write it over 2 to 3. Some people see the ratio, you can divide the first ratio by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Another way to show that they're equivalent, if you multiply across, 12 times 2 is 24, and 8 times 3 is 24. So this shows that 8 to 12 is equivalent to 2 to 3. So why is it not equivalent to 6 to 8? So when I show that example here, 8 to 12 and then 6 to 8. 8 times 8 is 64 and 12 times 6 is 72. So 72 and 64, they're not the same number when I multiply across. 8 to 12 is not equivalent to 3 to 4. 12 times 3 is 36 and 8 times 4 is 32. So these are not the same. And when I said 8 to 12 to see if it's equal to 12 to 20, 8 to 12 is not equivalent to 12 to 20 because when I multiply across, I get 160 and I get 144. So those types of questions go with RP1.